Hi, hi, Mr. B here. I want to talk to you today about one of my favorite end of the year projects I have the students do, and that's called water rockets. Water rocket is simply a 2-liter bottle that you use on a special launcher, and I can show you that later, or there's on the websites or lots of places. Just type in water rockets. But I'm going to show you quickly how to build a simple water rocket that will go higher than you would ever imagine. It's a lot more fun than you could ever imagine. And it teaches aerodynamics. Okay, we start out with a bottle. Can be any type 2-liter bottle, works best. This now, as you can see, I've already taken the label off of. Okay. The most important thing that I have to tell students about water rockets is the engine bottle, which is what this is, cannot have any holes in it. You cannot cut it, you cannot damage it, you cannot do anything to this bottle. It goes just like this, and it fits upside down on the launcher. Okay, here's a launch tube that goes right up inside here. It's a piece of 1/2-inch PVC pipe. Okay, the launcher goes in here. So this has to be able to withstand 60 or 70 psi, pounds per square inch of water and air, because we hook it up to an air pump. So just like if you have a bottle of soda pop and if you cut a hole in it, you know you can't tape it back shut, you can't glue it, you can't fix it. The same goes for this. So when you're using this bottle to make a rocket with, do not cut the bottom, the engine bottle, okay? All right, now, aerodynamics are actually quite important on these bottles, these rockets. This will launch. You can shoot this up in the air and it'll go up for a while, but the problem is it's flat on the top and there's not much weight, so it'll go up and it'll begin tumbling and it'll fall tumbling, so it won't go very high. So one of the first things I recommend, if nothing else, just take a piece of paper, and in this case I've used an old folder, an old manila folder, you know, an old manila folder, and I curled it up into a nice cone. Now it may take a little practice. What I'd recommend is taking a piece of paper and practice rolling the cones up till you get the right shape. Then take your folder, or you can always take a cereal box, because this is nice heavy cardboard. Take a cereal box. If you got an old poster, you can use poster paper, but unless you get some of the real thin stuff, like some of the more economical stuff that you might buy at Fred's or one of the other department stores like that, one of the big box stores, don't use the heavy duty cardboard because it gets kind of heavy. But a piece of a manila folder, whatever color you have, or even if you have a you know, like a rock star video poster or something like this, you can roll it up and make a nice cone. Okay, you want to secure it to this. Now this will go up much better than this will, because now you've got aerodynamics involved. All right, now the other thing that you want to do is you want to put some fins down here. You'll put some fins. The fins make it go straighter, so fins are important. A very quick way to make some fins, again, if you have a piece of poster paper, you could take it. I would cut it about in half. Excuse me, your folder, manila folder. Cut it in half. Now, make them even, just like this. I'm just cutting across there. Alright, so now I've got 2 pieces. Now where it's folded, I'm going to come across, I'm going to cut it again. I could tear it probably if I had a table or something, straight edge, but we're just going to do it like this. So now I got these 2 size pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold it in half. Alright, fold it in half. Okay, now, yeah, there's my Gorilla Tape. Yeah, it's not very fancy looking, so I'm going to take from the folded side and I'm going to cut up at an angle. Alright, so now we'll start looking like a rocket. To make it easy to apply to the side of my rocket, I'm going to take, see how I can open it up, I'm going to take maybe 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, and I'm going to fold it backwards. Okay, so it's like this. I'm going to take the other side and I'm going to make it even. Alright, now I'll get it. Bear with me, bear with me. Okay, alright, So there, hard crease it. That's what it tells you. You want to hard crease it. Okay, now, so I've got these two legs, these two flat areas here. I can tape that on. So for expediency, I'm just going to use some masking tape. It's really easy to tear. You do not want to apply these to your rocket using masking tape. These things take off so quickly that it will rip them right off the bottle. They'll be left on the launch pad. It's kind of sad. Kids come in with these great looking rockets. They use masking tape to put them together, or scotch tape or something else. So, and then when it takes off, whoosh, there goes the rocket and there's the fins. So now, see, I can tape that on there. Alright. And you get the general idea. Now, very, very important thing, we've learned this from experiments with other rockets. You want to tape this shut. You want to tape that shut, because if you don't, air's going to get in there and again it's going to rip it off. So you want to seal this shut. In fact, what I would recommend doing is, if you got some good if you have some good duct tape, Gorilla tape, whatever, you want to tape this whole thing up and save it. I put tape on the sides here. I tape the whole thing up. If you had some kind of plastic folder, it'd be even better, because what's going to happen is after you launch this a few times, they're going to get wet and you're going to lose your shape. But there's one way of doing it. So now, with a nose cone, voila, we're starting to look like a rocket, very much like a rocket. All right, but to make it go even better, and gnats are terrible today, to make it even go better, I would take a second bottle, cut the bottom out of it, put it on top of here like this. Okay, I'm going to let the air out so it'll fit on there snug. All right. Just a second, I got a little, it's bent here. All right. Now, so I'm going to take this bottle and put it on top of here like this. All right. I would put a piece of duct tape of some sort around here. Now, again, I could take my nose cone and put on here. Now, see, we're starting to get some length to it. We're starting to look like a nice long rocket. All right. And believe it or not, it makes a difference. The longer, if they're long and slender, they go much, much better, okay? They really do. So, I've done this far. Now, I'm not really happy with the way this looks down here. You know, it's a bottle sticking out of here. So, there's a solution for that too. Okay. There it is. Now, I do not want students or young folks using this. It's a razor. It's a utility knife. I'm going to take it right here and I'm going to make a little slice right here at the bottom of the label. Okay, and I'm going to make another little slice kind of up here at the top of the label. Okay, adults, adults, adults. Now, once you make that little nip, that little slit in there, you can take a nice pair of scissors and just slip the scissors right in there and very easily cut around the top. Just leave the label on it first. The label makes a good guide. All right, cut the top off, turn it upside down. Let's see, there's my nick. There's where I cut it. Don't try to poke a hole in these things with a pair of scissors, because this plastic's pretty tough and scissors tend to slip and it'll be band-aid time. So you definitely want to get somebody to make, and don't use a regular knife, just a razor knife. I mean, a utility knife works the best. Okay, so now here's what I've got. I'm just going to leave the label on here so you can tell exactly what I've done. All right, so now here's my rocket. I'm going to take this fin back off of here for a few minutes until you can see what I'm going to do. Now, I can slip this on the bottom of here. All right, ooh, now we can't tell. I can still get to the bottom of the bottle, which I have to be able to do in order to be able to launch it. But now check this out. Now I can put my fin down here. Ooh. Now, see how much nicer that looks? See how much nicer this looks? And now, excuse me, for putting this fin up on top of here. See what a nice long rocket we've got? Oops. And we used 3 bottles, parts of 3 2-liter bottles, something that you'd normally just throw away every day in the trash, and you would be amazed at how high this will go. Of course, I'd peel the labels off, and if I had some bottle of spray paint around, I would make sure I spray paint it. But as I tell my students, most important rule, two very, 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 very important rules. Number one, the engine bottle, which is the bottle right in here, do not cut it. I wouldn't even use hot glue on it, because hot glue makes this plastic kind of shrink up, crinkle up, can weaken it. So when you start to launch these things, it can mess them up. So the engine bottle, no cuts, no tears, do not spindle, fold, or mutilate it in any fashion. And number two, see the cap still on here? When I'm spray painting all this, I do not want any spray paint to get up inside here, because when I do, pardon me for just a second. Here is a launcher, okay? This is a launcher. So, to launch this rocket, I'm going to slide the rocket down over this, okay? Now, since it's fitted on there real snug, if there's any paint inside the neck of the bottle, whenever I clamp this on and put air pressure on it to try to launch it, it kind of welds it on there. And as I tell the students, if you got paint inside your bottle and it gets stuck on my launcher, I will not be your friend. Okay, you definitely want to be careful of that. But now, these launchers, that's another lesson. Like I said, you can look those up on the internet, find out how to build them. I may make a video sometime. But, again, a great rocket. I use manila folders. I can use the cardboard from a cereal box. That makes a nice, really, really nice fin. You can do it with one bottle. You can use it with two bottles. You can use it with three bottles, which is my favorite. And some people get even crazier. You can go 3 or 4 bottles high. As long as it has the standard size neck opening, and it must be a soda pop bottle. You cannot use water bottles. You cannot use juice bottles, Gatorade, anything else. It's got to be standard 1/2 inch, the size of a regular Coke bottle, Pepsi, whatever you want to say. It's got to be a soda pop bottle. These bottles are designed to withstand pressures of 180 psi, up to 180 pounds per square inch. So they're very strong. They'll take the pressure. You definitely want to use this. You can use 1 liter bottles. You can use, one company now makes a 2.5 liter bottle. You might experiment with it, but I personally think that the excuse me, the 2 liter bottles and even the 1 to 1.5 liter bottles, they fit very nicely, long and slender. You might even take 2 or 3 of the 1 liter bottles and put them together like this and have a nice sleek rocket. Now, as you can see here, I was using regular, the smooth sided soda pop bottles, but you can also use the fluted side. The Coke products come in. In some cases, you might combine these with the smooth sides to give yourself a nice aerodynamic look. But you can take 2 or 3 of these. You can mix them and match them. It doesn't matter which one of these you use. But again, most important rule number 1: no cuts, no tears, no ripples, no any problems with this. It's got to be completely intact, and you don't want any paint inside here. Okay, so let's go out there and rummage through the trash, get some bottles, and have some fun. Okay, thank you.